West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Broomy, 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 Brooms, Broomy, Broomy for sale, Broomy. If only we had had Tay Shandapur. If only we had had Kavem Hodge. If only we had had Alec Athanase. If only we had had Raymond Reefer. If only we had had Kevlon Anderson. If only we had had Kemar Roach. We surely would have won this match. You see how ridiculous that sounds when you say it? You see how ridiculous that sounds? I've got that out of the way right at the very beginning of the show so that I don't have to endure the bunch of people who are going to now get into the comments and say, bring in this man, bring in that man, this man needs to hold a drop, that man needs to hold a drop. Let me just get it straight off the chest from the very beginning of the show. There is no one out there that can help us. There is no one. No one. The only person that can save us is if there's divine intervention. We need to call Jesus. Jesus needs to come back and open the batting. Mohammed needs to come back number 3. Shiva needs to bat in the middle order. Buddha needs to bat at number 6. That unless we call for divine intervention, there's nothing that can help us. There's no player in the Caribbean that can help us with the bat. None. Furthermore, anybody who tries to tell you that there's somebody in the Caribbean that can help us with the bat, they don't understand West Indies cricket. They just don't understand. Like what more evidence do you lot need to understand there's no one out there to save us? It is what it is. It literally is what it is, right? We've lost 2 test matches to Australia. Today's match we've lost by 133 runs. Only somebody who has no understanding of West Indies cricket would have thought that we could win today. Go back and watch my show from last night when I did the wrap-up after day 3. I said we were going to lose. I literally, what I said would happen, happened. I said that Australia would probably have a lead of about 270 odd. And then I said that I said, hopefully West Indies can lose by less than 100. Losing by 133 runs, no one's happy with it. It's better than the first test where we lost by 159. Like, that's where we're at. In the Discord earlier today, I put something in the Discord where I said this. If Ipswich or Southampton from last season's Premier League, if they played Liverpool, the champions, at home, you would expect Liverpool to win by a minimum of 4-0, right? We understand that in football, right? You would expect Liverpool to go to Ipswich or Southampton and slap them up 4-0. Calm. If you understand that in a football context, why is it so difficult for people to understand that when Australia come to the Caribbean, we're gonna get slapped up? This is number 1 versus number 8. Why would you think there would be any other result? Why would you think that, right? So Bart is a serious fan, says Liverpool won 1-0 against Ipswich. Okay, so we'll play the semantics. Did anybody expect Ipswich to beat Liverpool? No. All you can hope for is that they put up a bit of a fight and then they take the L. The point still stands, right? So anybody who went into this, look at the videos that we did. Santoki and I did the videos before this series. We said it's going to be 3-0. Like, why are you like... Low key, I can't stand West Indian fans. We're the most unrealistic fans in the full member in the full member setup. Let me say that again for those out the back and down the sides. We are the most unrealistic fans in the full member tier of cricket. We are. We might have the biggest ratio of dunce to non dunces in the full member tier. Talking about we're gonna beat Australia. Beat what? What are you lot on exactly? What are you lot on? A man messaged me on Twitter saying I'm part of the problem because I've got a loser's mentality. No, I'm just realistic. I'm just realistic. Jesse Livermore says, strawman argument, re no one to save us. The issue is whether your pre-series utterances in support of this white ball batting lineup can withstand scrutiny. Okay, you want to take it there? Okay, I'll take it there, Jesse Livermore, because you must have thought you got me there. Oh, whoops, you got me. No. So what? Let's break it down, Jesse. Are you saying, because let me hit you back with this one then. Are you saying that after 2 test matches, you've seen enough and you've got enough of a sample size to say that these players are no good? After 2 test matches, you've got enough of a sample size. I just done been watching the last lot for 13 test matches in a row. Are you saying that after 2 test matches versus the number 1 team in the world, you've got enough of a sample size to say these guys are no good? Don't worry, I'm going to wait. Don't worry, I'm going to wait. Have you got enough of a sample size? I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. This is the other problem with the West Indian fan base. We have no patience. No patience. None whatsoever. If this was, don't get me wrong, actually, I can see Jess's point. If we were playing Bangladesh and we just got licked down 2 back-to-back tests, then I think there's an argument to be made to say, boy, Sammy's rolled the dice and Bangladesh are licking us down because Bangladesh are on our level. So if it was Bangladesh or Pakistan or Sri Lanka or whoever else licking us down at home, I'm willing to hear the argument. But if you man are going to judge this new team that Sammy's put together based on if Australia whoop us down at home, then what does that even make? Does it even make sense? Does it even make sense? Rightly or wrongly, and this is no defense of Sammy, but rightly or wrongly, Sammy starts off with 3 test matches at home versus Australia, 2 test matches away versus India, and 3 test matches away versus New Zealand. That's 7. That's 8-0. That's 8-0. But the difference between me and a lot of you lot is I'm realistic enough to know that that's 8-0 to start off with. We might, if we're lucky, we might scrape a 1 draw. We might scrape a 1-0. But I'm expecting it to be 8-0 by the end of the year. Anybody who's not expecting it to be 8-0, I think you're deluded. I think you're actually deluded. 8-0 is pending by the end of 2025. So for me, it's not about, I'm not short-sighted enough to base this off wins or losses. It's when you're playing Australia, India, and New Zealand back-to-back, it's not about wins or losses for me. It's about, can I just see anything that resembles progression? That's all I'm looking to see, anything that resembles any kind of progression. Let me tell you about progression that we've seen so far. We bowled out Australia and start again. We've taken 20 wickets against Australia in both test matches. And before anyone says to me, that's not progression, go look at all our performances against Australia in the last 10 years and tell me how many times we took 20 wickets. Go on. Don't worry. I'm going to wait. Go back and look at all of the lick downs. Obviously, everyone's going to talk the Gabba. The Gabba is the anomaly, right? Go back and look at all of our performances versus Australia in the last 10 years and tell me how many times we took 20 wickets in back-to-back tests. I'm waiting. I'm waiting here. Tell me, because I'm waiting. So when people talk to me about this and that, I'm looking for incremental improvements. I'm looking for incremental improvements. That's all I'm on, you know. That's all I'm on. What else have we seen? The batting. So in this test match, Brandon King scored a 75, which currently is the highest score in the whole test series. So his spot is secure. Just based off that, Brandon King's spot is secure in this test side because no Australians even scored higher than Brandon King. And furthermore, let me pause right there. Someone answered this for me. Australia have the following, right? Constas, obviously, like his little man, right? So we can't really talk on Constas because he's little man, right? Usman Khawaja averages in the 40s. Cameron Green, who people don't even consider to be that good, or certainly not a test match 3, averages in the mid 30s. Steve Smith is possibly, arguably by the time he retires, one of the greatest batters of all time. Travis Head has been on an unbelievable run of form. Alex Carey, there's an argument to say that he's top 2 wicketkeeper batters in the world, top 3 wicketkeeper batters in the world, right? Who have I missed out? Bo Webster, just come into the Australia side, already has 450s. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. That team, who are significantly better than us with the bat, have struggled to make runs. They scored 180 in Barbados and then 300. In Grenada, they've scored 280 and then 240. If we accept and we understand that team, who are significantly better than us, have struggled to make runs, why would we make runs? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone to answer that for me. Why would we make runs if they can't make runs? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for someone to answer it for me. Someone answer that question for me. If Australia are struggling to make runs and they're struggling to get past 250, why would we get past 250 regularly? Please someone tell me how that makes sense. Right, so here we go. First answer. Himanshu says, because you're playing at home. What does that mean? We're ranked number 8 in the world. What do you mean we're playing at home? That don't mean. Since when has that meant anything? Since when has that meant anything? The only team that can't beat us at home is England. They're the only team. Everybody else comes to West Indies and can get a win. Bangladesh just came to West Indies at Christmas time and took a win off us. The only team that can't take a win off us in the Caribbean is England. Right? Everybody else, they take that calmly. So telling me you're at home, that don't mean anything. That don't mean anything. I'm still waiting. Someone tell me why they think the West Indies should make more runs than Australia. Someone tell me. As soon as I saw that Steve Smith was back for this test match, I was like, yeah, we're finished. We're absolutely finished. Because that man ain't going to fail twice. So I was like, yeah, we're done out here. We're fried fish. Beauty Connoisseur says, because it's our home conditions and we have international experience batters. So have Australia. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean? Australia's worst batter is better than our best batter. What do you mean? Australians are cussing out Cameron Green being test match number 3, and he's better than all of our batters. The players that they cuss out walk into our team on one leg. Do you understand what I'm saying? The players that they think aren't that good just stroll into our team. Bo Webster is any journeyman cricketer, and he walks into our team and he immediately becomes our best batter. How about that? Any journeyman guy would immediately become our best bat. And people talking about we're at home. What's that got to do with anything? God. There is a gap in West Indian fandom between reality and expectation. The gap is so huge. The gap is so huge in our fan base between reality and expectation. One of the reasons why, I think I said it after the first test match, one of the reasons why I knew that we'd struggle in the fourth innings is because when you're a crap team, and let's not get this twisted, people, we're crap, right? When you're a crap team, the longer a match goes, the more likely it is that you're going to unravel because you can't keep up the intensity. These guys have actually done well. So we've now played what? 7 days of test match cricket against the Australians across these 2 tests, right? We played 7 days of cricket. We have done well, probably, I'd say, in 4.5 of them. When you consider that Australia are number 1 and we're number 8, that probably, is it 4.5, maybe 5.5? That probably tracks well. That tracks well, right? But the deeper you go into a test match, for Australia playing well, listen to this line. Listen to this line I'm about to drop on you lot. For Australia, playing well is muscle memory. Listen again to what I just said to you. For Australia, playing well is muscle memory. They've been in these positions time and time again, right? So technically, going into the second innings, they only had a 40-run lead or whatever it was, 33-run lead, right? But have you noticed that Australia's top 3 are struggling, you know? Constas averages 8 in this series. Khawaja averages 20. Green averages 24. They're struggling as well, right? Their top 3 is struggling like our top 3. The difference is, you see, when it gets to their middle order, muscle memory kicks in. They know how to rescue the situation when they're under the pump. Our players, there is no one in the region that we can put in that has that muscle memory at the top level to go, right, this is how we're now going to play. This is how we're now going to dig in. This is how we're now going to save the situation. That's the difference. That's the difference. And that's why Australia are able to go from like 100 for 4 to 200 and something or 250 odd or whatever it was all out. The muscle memory kicks in of high intensity cricket. We just can't keep it up. We're trying our best. Carl says, so Australia's worst players are best and we are a crap team. And you want us to have patience with this team, Machel. Your words, not mine. Pick a side. You can't have it both ways. Yes, you can. 2 things can be correct at the same time. It's not that hard. Australia are better than us. We are crap. We have to just trust with this is Sammy's new team. So I'm going to show patience. What, you think I'm going to write them off after 2 test matches against the best team in the world? Maybe you need to pick a side, because I don't need to pick a side, because I understand that 2 things can be right at the same time. How about you pick a side? Please don't, please, people. I'm not that guy with the tie. I'm not that guy who wants to talk about 1985. I'm not that guy. Right? I'll clap back. I'll clap back straight away. You know. Reality versus expectation. Some of you have an issue with it. Reality versus expectation. Now, a big question we need to talk about, though, before we get to some of the players and so on and so forth, is the pitch. I asked this question. Was it yesterday's show? And the consensus seemed to be that it was the right thing to do to prepare pitches that have uneven bounce and aid our strength, which is the bowling. And I think Bish said it on comms. So, do you know what? Bish said something on comms today where I was like, wait a minute, are the comms people watching my videos? And I'm not just saying this to be arrogant about it. There was 2 occasions today on commentary where I was like, that sounds like exactly what I said on the show yesterday. Like literally, it sounded like word for word. Are these guys watching CCP? Anyways, whatever, right? So so Bish said something on comms where he spoke about the pitch, and he said, how do we get our guys? I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like, how do we get our guys to be better on these pitches? And then he made a very good point, which was, imagine what would happen if our bowling attack bowled against our batters and they'd laying them down for under 100. That's what would happen. And so we have to find a balance as to what are the best pitches for us to play on. If we are going to prepare and if we are going to play on these up and down on even bounce pitches where balls are just scooting low from time to time and so on and so forth, then I don't think we can expect these guys to bat. I genuinely don't think you can expect, not twice anyways, not twice. And this is why I started the video off by just naming all of these guys that you always send to me and go, oh, this guy should play and this guy should play and this guy should play. That's all bullshit to me. Because if you are putting there are no West Indian batters that you can put on these up and down pitches that are going to succeed. None. You know, in the last first-class championship, where people like Jason Mohammed were scoring 4 centuries in the season, the pitches weren't playing like this, because if the pitches were playing like this, where balls are scooting along the ground, it's on even bounce, etc., you think they're scoring 4 centuries? No. Which is why I've been asking the question as to how comes we've had pitches created like this. It doesn't help our guys bat. They don't have the skill set to get through it twice, and there's no one else in the region that has the skill set to get through it twice. So, but then the flip side is, if you create a flat pitch, Steve Smith will score 600. So that I'm not trying to like front and be like, oh, we should just have flat pitches, because Australia would never get dismissed then. So I get the flip side to it. We currently seem to be playing on results-based pitches, but we have to then accept that if we're going to play on these results-based pitches, we have to accept that it is very unlikely that we are going to be able to bat well twice on these pitches. The one thing that we haven't seen, I'm not sure Jamaica's the time to see it because it's a day-night pink ball match. We haven't batted first. And that's the only thing that's been kind of going in my head is, what would have happened if we had batted first? Would we have collapsed in the second innings if we were batting would we have collapsed second time round if we were batting in the third innings as opposed to the fourth innings? Probably, but I do think there is a little bit of a kind of asterisk next to the fact that we haven't won the toss and we haven't had the chance to bat first. I still think we'd probably get laying down, but we still haven't had that chance. Anad says, why are there no Caribbean batters in county cricket? Because they're not good enough. Not good enough, which respectfully, unless you're one of the crap counties in the second division, why would you take a West Indian batter? Respectfully to all of them, why would you take one? You might take one on potential, but you're not taking one expecting them to be like your leading run scorer. Adrian Bishop says, our batters need to get better. Stop making excuses about the pitches. I can't help some of you lot, you know. Listen, Adrian, here's a couple earbuds. Take these and clean out the earwax. It's deep in your ears. Take these. I'm going to DM me your address. DM me your address. I'm going to send you a box of earbuds and just clean out the earwax. Just clean it out. Get in there deep and clean it out. Just clean it, I beg. Clean out the earwax, I beg. Oh, God. Right, let's get to some let's get to some of this. So some of the super chats. So big up Mike Legend S, always with the super chat. Mike says, expected but depressing loss today. I understand they faced class bowling attack on a difficult pitch, but techniques and stickability were woeful. No batting plan to counter proper fast bowling. Now that's fair. So I listened to Darren Sammy's post-match interview, and what was interesting, let's dive into it. Sammy raised some key points, which I'm just going to kind of explain now to the audience. So here's some of the things that Sammy said. He said that we are struggling as a team to absorb pressure when it gets tough. He's talking about when we're batting. He says we're struggling to absorb pressure when the going gets tough. And he says you notice the difference between the two sides, that Australia know how to absorb pressure when they're under the pump. And then he had a go at the batting. In fairness, he had a go at the batting. And he said that there's a lot of technical work to do with the batters, some of them, not all of them. But he also said it's about mindset. And he compared the batter's approach to how Steve Smith went about his business in the third innings. And he said, don't get me wrong. He was like, the pitch was difficult to bat on. But he said, but both teams played on that pitch. And he said, when Steve Smith went out to bat, you saw that he took a leg side stance and tried to play as straight as possible and respected every single delivery that was straight, and only put away bad balls when it was obvious bad balls. And he said that there's some technical work to do with some of the guys with regards to how they go about, I guess playing a bit more compact, I guess might be the answer. Or I've kind of put that word in there. But then the phrase he used was Rome wasn't built in a day. And he was like, this is my second test match with this side. It's the start of a process with these guys. We've got Australia first, then India, then New Zealand. So it's the start of the process. Then one of the journalists said, what about Craig? You're going to drop him? Can't remember who asked it. Someone said, are you going to drop him? And in fairness, the way Sammy answered that question, I think Craig's getting dropped for the third test. Now, I could be wrong. I'll go back and listen to it again. But the way he answered that question, I was reading between the lines, and I took it to mean they're going to drop Craig. I don't know if they're going to drop Craig based on performance per se, or drop him based on you look like you need a rest. You look like you need some time away to go work on some things. So I'm kind of expecting Machel Louis to play in Jamaica, because I think so Sammy's words were, we're going to discuss it. We're going to look at some things. We're going to look at it as a selection committee, because obviously Craig is I think these are my words, not his, but he said something like, obviously Craig is struggling at the moment. That's my words. Those weren't the words he used, but again, I'm paraphrasing what he kind of said. So I immediately just wrote down in my notes, yeah, Craig's not playing in Jamaica. I'll be surprised if Craig plays in Jamaica. But then the question mark then is about Casey Carty. Will they drop rest Casey Carty and let Kevlin Anderson play in Jamaica as well? Now the series is done, if it even matters, there's an argument to say you can make a couple changes. So can I see Machel Louis coming in for Craig Brathwaite? Possibly. Can I see Kevlin Anderson coming in for Casey Carty? Possibly. Do I expect it to make one bit of a difference? No. So that's the difference between me and a lot of people. When people tell me bringing this man, bringing that man, I'm not expecting it to make not one bit of difference. But that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to entertain the conversation, but I'm not expecting any different. We'll still be 45 for 3 if we're lucky. That's if we're lucky. So I don't really care who comes in. We're still going to be in the same situation regardless. So whatever. Sometimes you have to, and this is the other thing that I don't think I've necessarily seen enough people appreciate. You know where, like, I don't know if people fully understand or appreciate this, right? Do you not understand that Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazelwood, and Nathan Lyon are probably going to go down in history as just as good as, if not better, as the Australian attack that was Glenn McGrath, Shane Warne, was it Jason Gillespie, and I can't remember who the other guy is that I'm missing from their other golden era. You know, those four, Cummins, Starc, Hazelwood, and Lyon, are going to go down as absolute greats of the game. And then you got people coming to me going, why can't we bat? Are you not all right, though? Are you not all right? Why can't we score more than 150 against the four greats of the game? Okay. You lot are funny. Yeah, you lot are actually funny. Like scratching your heads, wondering why we can't bat. Like, you lot are funny, innit? So let's go to another comment. Mike says maybe it's time for a fresh set of eyes for the all format batting coach. No, so I think the ease, like this is another thing that we specialize in West Indies cricket, in that we're still, even now, we're trying to look for that one silver bullet. I'm not saying that you're doing that, Mike, but we try to look for that one silver bullet answer. If we get this guy out, or okay, if we bring this guy in, if this guy plays, what if we change this? Like, a new batting coach ain't, like, that ain't fixing anything. Like, it's we don't have, like, please, people, listen to what I'm saying. Like, so Sheldon says, can we bring back Lara as a batting coach? Lara can't help anyone. Lara can't help anyone. You didn't see Lara. Lara was like a coach in IPL or whatever. Weren't his team like one of the shit teams? Like, stop doing this, people. None of these people can help, man. There's no answer. There's no answer. Like, you lot need to find peace. You have to find peace. There's no answer. Not until 10 years from now, or 5 to 10 years from now, when the next lot come through. There's no answer. There's no savior out there. There is no batter in the region that can bat in Test cricket. There is no one. And when I say bat, I mean average over 36. There is no one in the whole region. No, there's no coach that can teach them how to do it. There's no one. This is why the other day I kept saying, let's stop talking about 1975. That's actually part of the bigger reason as well for me. That's part of the bigger reason for me. Like, stop. This is why I want to get rid of everybody over the age of 60 and stop them having any say on anything to do with West Indies cricket. That's why I made that comment the other day. Stop talking to me about 1975. I know it sounds sacrilegious to say it, but I'm going to say it. It has no relevance to these guys right now. None. It has zero relevance to these guys right now. If anything, it's holding these guys down. Like, big up the old guys, though. Big up the legacy. We can say big up the legacy, but it has no relevance to what these guys are doing right now. And all the while, we still say, we should do this, or we should do that. We should bring that guy in, and we need to do. None of it helps. None of it helps. Every single person over the age of 60 who watches West Indies cricket, you all need to get with the program and accept that we are shit. And once you've shifted your mindset to understanding that we're shit, we can start to build again. But I think part of the block for a lot of you is you're unwilling to accept that we're shit. You have to start from the basis of understanding that we're shit. And then it means you can actually look at things in proper context. That's why I don't get too inner the conversations about what about this and what about that, because I long accepted that we're at ground zero. And because I've accepted that we're at ground zero, that's why I can look at these Australia performances and look for signs of positivity and look for signs of momentum and little bits of positive growth, because that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We're not at We're not at any stage where I'm talking about, oh boy, we lost. Yeah, we're supposed to lose. That's the base. That's the bare minimum. We're supposed to be losing. So it's not as we've long gone past wins and losses for me. It's about, can I just see anything, any sign of anything? Let's go back to some more comments. Fass with the super chat. It doesn't make a comment, but big up for the super chat anyway, Fass. Much appreciated. Fly Island guy says there's a bigger chance of Mash bagging a sexy ting with cricket lyrics than West Indies reaching 100 without losing at least 4 wickets versus Australia. It's true, you know. It's true. I got a couple grey hairs. You know. My chances, I reckon. Let me see what the odds are. I reckon if I get a trim, and a shape up and put on a buttoned up shirt, I can still get a sexy ting. I reckon I can, you know. I reckon I think I've got 2 more years left in me. If I scrub up properly, get a nice buttoned up shirt and a nice cologne, I've got 2 more years left in the game. So I probably do have a better chance than West Indies reaching 100 against Australia without losing 4 wickets. I've got 2 more years in the game. I've got 2 more years, cuz. It's okay. Let's see what we're saying. I've done that comment already. Sumit with is it Sumit? Oh, no. Yeah, Sumit. Sumit says discussions in West Indies cricket should shift from personnel to the pitches at all levels. Meanwhile, hope the selected lot ends up making more right decisions than the wrong ones under pressure. Yep. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Sumit. Speaking of right decisions under pressure, what was Shea Hope's shot today? What was that shot today? I get that he's now playing at number 6, and I think they've told him, or I presume they've told him to play with positive intent. But what was the score? I think the score was 71 for 4. And him and Chase had put on a partnership of, I think their partnership was about 38 at the time, something like that. Why did he do that? Man tried to slap the ball to Bridgetown, and I was like, well, and him and Chase weren't even in trouble. I was like, what's going on, really? I didn't understand that, you know. Really didn't get that. BG says, who are batting characters in this team who will grind? The last character I saw was Jermaine Blackwood. Except Chase, Hope and King, I see this batting is poor. Do you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Chase, Hope and King. I think Chase is really trying. I think Chase is really trying to play responsible innings. So, yeah, I think... What did he score today? I think Chase scored 34 today. Brandon King is looking... I know he's only... What's he got so far? I think King's got 26 duck, 75 and 14. I think King has looked like he wants to take this test thing seriously. He may not always score, but he's looking like he wants to take this test thing seriously. And actually, who bowled him today? Was it Cummins? They changed the ball just before lunch, I think, and he went. King was looking all right till there. It was a good delivery. King's looking all right. And Hope, until that madness today, even Hope, I think, has looked all right. Remember the up and down nature of these wickets, people. We cannot dismiss the nature of these wickets that these guys are playing on. Let me just pull some data whilst I'm at it. Let's see if we can get some data here. So as things currently stand, here we go. So as things currently stand, if I can get it. Sorry, people, it's taking quite a while. All right, is this it here? Right. So after 2 test matches, this is what the stats of the series are saying. So Brandon King is currently averaging 29 in the series. Okay. Chase is averaging 24. Hope is averaging 22. None of that am I trying to boast about and say, they're doing brilliantly, right? So 29 for King, 24 for Chase, 22 for Hope. But if you look at the top 3, Campbell 18, Carty 14, Brathwaite 4, Graves 15. But just to put this in perspective, because obviously people go, Mash, that's shit. And it is. But just to put in perspective, Australia, Green is averaging 24. Kawaja is averaging 20. Constas is averaging 8. Inglis, when he played, was 9. It's the difference makers are these 3. Travis Head is averaging 47. Carey is averaging 42. And Steve Smith is averaging 37, and Bo Webster 34. No one, apart from Travis Head and probably Carey, no one's having like a stellar series because the wickets have not allowed for a stellar series with the bat. So when I look at like King averaging 29, King averaging 29 is good for this series. It's like that Pakistan series at the start of the year. No one came out of that series with a good average because the wickets didn't allow for a good average. So you had to kind of look at whoever was near the top of it. Can't remember who now. Probably Multi and Warrican, but whoever was at the top of it, you kind of had to look at it as like that's the same as averaging like 85 or something. So that's why I always say it's important to look at the context of the wickets rather than just look at the numbers of who's averaging what and so on and so forth. Good point from Derek Paul. Derek Paul says the openers are the problem. There's no fan. Yeah, absolutely. There's like. When we came out to bat, I put a comment in the Discord at the interval, like Carty's number 3. Carty doesn't even have time to go toilet at the interval because if being number 3 for the West Indies must be the worst batting position in full member cricket. It must be the worst batting position in full member cricket because as the West Indies test match number 3 that you're coming. Basically, Carty's an opener. If you're the test match number 3 for the West Indies, you're coming out to bat inside the first 5 to 7 overs. So you're basically the opener as well. We expose our number 3 and 4 so early that you just can't set a foundation. And these pitches that we've played on so far in Barbados and Grenada, it's that first 20 overs when the ball is hard, Australia, because they have a better bowling attack or a more consistent bowling attack, or maybe because of our batting is weaker, they're just ripping through us. They're just ripping through us with that new hard ball, understandably so. You see Carty's 10 today. Carty got, I don't know how many of you watched all 20 balls that Carty faced today. Carty got a working over that he's probably never experienced in his whole career. The man was given that serious work. Was it from, I think it was Mitchell Stark at one end, and I don't know if it was Hazelwood or Cummins at the other end. They were wrapping him on his hands, wrapping him on his body. Man was cutting inside edges. And the thing is, I felt sorry for Carty because he was fighting, like he was fighting to be out there, but he was getting absolutely worked over. And when he finally got out, how did he get out again? Did he nick to slip? I can't remember. But when he finally got out, I was like, boy, you're probably glad to get out because the way they were peppering him, it was mad. It was mad. But then all I kept thinking when I was watching Carty was, there is no number 3 in the Caribbean that wouldn't have got that same working over. There's that for me was the starkest point of the whole thing. I was just looking at the situation, going, you can call Kevlin Anderson, you can call Amir Jangu, you can call Tevin Imlak. No matter who we had put in that situation at number 3, having to walk out after 1 over because Campbell got out quickly, they would have got that same work. They would have been given that same work and would have got out quick time as well. So this is why this is one of those reasons why when people just call names to me, I'm just like, yeah, but they're going to get that same work. They're going to get that same peppering. Like, you know, that's not to defend Carty. Carty's under pressure for sure, but it's to be realistic about the situation. OTCG says Hodge would have done better. What does better mean? What, he would have made 14? Like, what does better mean? Super chat from Abhinav. Abhinav says, "Big up to a competent bowling unit." That's the big positive for sure. We got to big up the bowling unit. They've been doing their job. They've been doing their job for sure. Park John says Hodge made 50s in Australia, yeah, and he made 100 in England. And then after he made 100 in England, what else did he do? I'm not saying that means he should have been dropped, but I'm just saying that, yeah, we can all, like, that's like me saying, so you see when we get to India and if Brandon King now is failing, that's like me saying, but King made 75 against Australia. Like, you're only as good as your latest innings, you know. AWB says, why does Hodge have a shorter leash than Craig? Because Hodge can't open? Craig's only there because we have no options. That's the reality of the situation. Like, I'm not trying to defend Craig. If Craig gets a drop in Jamaica, he deserves it. But let's be real. Craig is only there because there's no openers in the region. None. So let's say Craig gets dropped. It's going to be Machel Louis and John Campbell. What are you lot expecting instead? Like, there's no answers, right? And then if you drop Machel Louis, who you bringing in next? Cephas Cooper from Trinidad. What are you expecting then? Jeremy Solazano. What are you expecting? There's no freaking options, people. Not at the top level. Not the top level. Maybe when we're playing some of the little man, but not at the top level. There's no options. And we'll be here. So let's say Craig gets dropped. You know what's going to happen. Let's just say Craig gets dropped, and that's him done now. He doesn't go India, doesn't go New Zealand. Let me tell you what's going to happen. About 4 months from now, you're all going to be on one of these live shows cussing about Machel Louis or John Campbell or whoever else it is that comes in, and you're all going to be saying, this man needs to be dropped. Like, there are no options, cuz. There are no options. They're trying their best. They're trying their best. Right. What did I... So, I'm just thinking then. So, sorry. Do you know what the one person we haven't spoken about? Justin Graves. We haven't spoken about Justin Graves. What are we saying about his position? We've got 6 minutes left of the show, people. I'm looking this off at 11 o'clock. What are we saying about Justin Graves? Because obviously he's performing with the ball. And he's batting at number 7. So what are we asking him to do, people? Let me just see what Graves is doing. So Graves in this series has 5 wickets at 28 apiece. So they're all bonus wickets for me. 5 wickets at 28 apiece. That's really good. And with the bat, he's... Well, he got a 38. Eventually got a 38 not out in Barbados. He's averaging 15. Is that all right? What are we asking Graves to do? Is him averaging 15 with the bat and 28 with the ball? Is that okay at number 7? Park says he's a slight bit below Webster. A slight bit. Like what? I don't even know, because my thing is, if Jason Holder still wants to play Test cricket, he walks back into my side. But I don't know if Jason does anymore. Like, I don't know what the deal is with Jason. I don't know if they've moved on from Jason, or if Jason just wanted to go and play Major League Cricket. Like, I don't know what the deal is there. But if Jason makes himself available, he walks back into my side. Anyways, last 4 minutes of the show. So last 4 minutes of the show. So what we saying then, people, based on what I'm seeing in the comments, you lot are basically saying Machel Lewis for Jamaica, Machel Lewis for Craig Brathwaite, Kevlin Anderson for Casey Carty. What about Anderson Phillip? It's a day-night match in Jamaica, which suggests to me we won't need the spinner. But we looked too samey. We looked too samey with the four seamers. So what are we doing about Anderson Phillip for the last test? Are we bringing back Warwican, or are we bringing in an extra batter? I don't think we need to have the frontline spinner for a pink ball test personally. So I don't think I'm playing Warwican. So what are we doing? What are we doing with the with Phillip's position? A lot of you are saying bringing the extra batter. The thing is, with the pink ball, there are times in a pink ball test where it's better to bat. So West Indies just have to hope that when we get our chance to bat, it's in the best. What is it? When is it good to bat again? I can't remember. Those of you, I don't remember, but there's a certain time in pink ball matches where it's much better to bat. We just have to hope that coincides with when we're batting, because anyhow, if we're batting at any point in this pink ball test, if we're batting at any point in this pink ball test when the ball is moving all over the place, as God is my witness, somebody clip this. I'll start again. If we are batting at any point in that pink ball test when the ball is hooping all over the place, we will get bowled out for 51 or less. As God is my witness, that will happen. It don't matter who you pick, we will get bowled out for less than 50 if we're batting at any point when the ball is moving. It might be difficult to watch that test match, you know. It might be difficult. Luckily, I land in Jamaica just after that test match is done, and I can turn up for the T20s, acting like I never saw anything. So it's all good. Right, last couple of comments. Lots of you saying bring in Imlak. Wait a minute. What on earth? What did I just see? Let me just leave this on the screen without comment. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to let everybody else read it for themselves. What I actually like, though, is I've only just realized that SOS is called Craig Braithwaiter. It's time to drop Craig Braithwaiter, you know. Allow me in there. I've had enough. Oh God. I'm done. I'm done for the day, man. Let me leave. Listen, it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. Live show tomorrow. It's a call-in show tomorrow. So if anybody who wants to, let me get this off the screen. Anybody who wants to call in call-in show tomorrow. Bring all of your chat there, and then that's where you get to make your points, etc. So I'll try to have that up and running at about 10 o'clock UK time. There's the West Indies have lost the third test match. We've lost the series. We're 2-0 down. We battled hard for 3. We battled hard for 3 of the 4 days, and then predictably got laying down on the 4th day, losing by 133 runs. So, people, I'll be Machel St. Patrick here on half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, you can head to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Thanks to anybody who gave a super chat today. So much appreciated. Did I look at all of them? Sorry, I nearly missed one. There's one here that I nearly missed. Thank you, Beyond the Boundaries Monologues, who says, before this match, the average for all other West Indian openers in matches featuring Craig since his debut is 23.2. That kind of tells its own story, doesn't it? That's actually a very interesting stat there. Yeah, thank you for that comment. I'll leave that there for a bit. So yeah, if you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, head to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. You can also use a super chat, super thanks function in the description as well. You'll see a buy me a coffee function as well. If you're somebody who likes to lay bets down on sport, get involved with our sponsors, Parlay Pros. They use a high-tech data algorithm to study all the trends across all sports, and then it basically says to you, we think that's where the good value for money is. So if you're somebody who's involved in all of that and actually has self-control, click the link in the description as well to get involved with that and sign up, etc. Use the code CCP, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow doing some more chat about the cricket. West Indies have lost. Don't be too upset. It is what it is. We rally said same way. The third test starts on, when does it start? Is it the 16th? Can't even, when's it? I think it starts, I don't even know. When's the third? Is there a break? Hold on, people. 12th. It starts on the 12th. When's the 12th? Oh, there's a break, you know. We got a whole week off before the third test starts. So the third test starts on Saturday, the 12th of July. So we got about 5-6 days where we don't have to actually bother ourselves with West Indies cricket. So that's good. So see you lot for the third test when that all starts. And I'll be back very, very soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.